what I would dub as a blockbuster game, but it has cherished. We cherish it with our hearts, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure
We
does.
love what it is and what it's become, and we keep going that little extra mile that we probably often shouldn't to
I know we're grateful.
to try and bring what we wanted to become to our players, and we want people to be able to continue enjoying it for as long as they can.
Well, we know with just the job postings that we've seen on LinkedIn and the comments that the president of Nova Cork has made on LinkedIn, we know you guys are immensely busy with an array of projects. We don't know any details, but yeah, the community is just really excited to see what the future holds, especially with things related to Unreal Engine 5. I know 1K is making some games right now, a solo project, but he's working in Unreal 5. It's an amazing platform.
So we're indeed we have indeed got a few other projects on the go. One major one. That's pretty much what I've been in meetings about all day long today. I can't really talk much about it. There is already some information about it out there, and it is very different from my view. I would argue that it is a little more, I would say, commercial.
Yeah, I would expect, just from a business perspective, you guys would do something that would reach a wider audience, because you got a fantastic team, amazing ability, and I'm hoping that whatever you guys work on is able to leverage some of the inventions that you guys have patented in the course of creating Dual Universe. You guys just, wow, some amazing technologies you guys developed, and that's what you do. You're more of a I've often thought of you as more of a technology company.
So we are again leveraging different technologies, but we've indeed, as you said, we've started using, for the other projects that we're working on Unreal, on most of our projects, actually all of our projects bar DU. There are definitely some adaptation issues where, of course, for DU, which runs on Unigine, but I would argue there's not that much of actual Unigine left in DU. It's being stripped down, rebuilt, and I guess in terms of comparing Unigine to DU, you could equate it to maybe having like the drive shaft left from a particular car model, and everything else is being replaced with something else at this point.
Right.
So it's DU was very proprietary and also very tricky to work on in that regard, because if you need something specifically, so if like, we need a tool to do X, you have to make that tool.
Yeah.
Because
well, there's the nature of how it started, how it was created. So
yeah. I will say that our current other project does not involve voxels, so we've stepped away from that technology for the time being.
Infinitely easier to
yeah, it's a lot less tricky, and in terms of, as much as I do genuinely miss it, because the visual quality of what people are able to make with DU and seeing what creations players have made with, particularly since we gave them the VPT, the vertex editor.
Yep.
Since that has come into existence, the visual quality of things made by the community is just being astonishingly high, to the point that
one of the things we were talking about this morning. Yeah, and here's a good example. These ships that are coming into focus on my screen here. I mean, this in the early days of DU was just not possible, and to see these kind of creations Wow. I mean, that's clearly not possible without the Vertex tool.
It starts to reach the point where you look at these and they stop looking like voxels entirely. It actually starts to really look more like a 3D model than something made out of cubes. And that, for me, has been just a fantastic improvement for DU in the years. I really love that we have this creativity in the community.
Something I saw last night, I saw on an XL dynamic core, this is on a MyDU server, on an XL dynamic core, I saw a ship that was an import of an OBJ file from another game. And the steps, and they had to use some software that was written to get converted from the OBJ to get it into the mesh format that's used for the game. And so it's all voxels. There's no, of course, when you do that, you're not bringing any elements that were from the original thing, but the shape is all there. It's extraordinary, and I think that's just the tip of the iceberg of what is going to be possible down the road. So,
get back to the cake, Gio. Time to get back to the cake.
Am I still on the cake?
I don't know.
I fell off at one point. Let me double check.
Gio's not, but he's got to get back.
I'm going to put myself in the seat. There we go. Now I can't get lost from the cake.
And then I just want to read what Desorm says. Desorm says, "Thank you, Deckard. You have awoken me into DU again. I've been living for modding games since 1995.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I had a train of thought just now, and I've just lost
Sorry.
Not that you've been busy or anything.
Oh, it's been a long day today.
Gio was talking about importing the OBJ file into mesh, into JSON, into this server. That's what he was talking about before I interrupted.
Yeah, we've had a we have had a tool for quite a few years that was able to do it, and on our development servers we have famously got standing somewhere a voxel, it's about the size of an XS core, but looks surprisingly good, voxel velociraptor standing somewhere on our internal servers.
Wow. Wow.
So I'm absolutely not surprised that people have already made tools to do this on MyDU.
And this is just the beginning. I mean, we've only had MyDU for what, a month?
Yeah, but it's also the rate at which people have been importing things into MyDU that are would get us into very hot water on production.
Possibilities
is a good affirmation for us for why it was not a good idea to include, why it remains to be a bad idea to include that on our server, that capability, even though a lot of players wanted it. But just seeing the pictures come by of some of the imports that people have done, and just the immense amount of detail of like importing a Millennium Falcon that looks exactly like a Millennium Falcon without any manual work other than import